Women's football globally has shaped up well since the inaugural 12-team World Cup tournament held in China 3 decades ago. The FIFA Women's World Cup kicks off from today with 32-team lineup as it is hosted jointly by Australia and New Zealand. 8 teams debut at the global stage this time, where the US look to extend their golden era with their third straight win. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. Authorities seize around 100 kilograms of gold following a special raid by Revenue Investigation Department. 5 arrested for suspected involvement. The 7 constitutional organs formed after the promulgation of Constitution still ineffective. Officials say government apathy and lack of resource are the reasons. A shooting has left 2 people dead and 6 injured in Auckland, New Zealand, hours before the city is due to open the FIFA Women's World Cup. And the wait is almost over. The biggest FIFA Women's World Cup to kick off today. New Zealand launched the tournament against Norway at 12:45 p.m. Nepal time. Authorities have seized a substantial amount of illegal gold that had been cleared from the customs check of Trivandrum International Airport. Gold biscuits that came from Hong Kong had cleared custom procedures and was on the way to its destination on a taxi when Department of Revenue Investigation seized it from the capital, Sinamangal. Weighing around 100 kilograms, the illegal gold had been concealed in a scooter brake shoe, and authorities have estimated its worth at around 1 billion rupees. The department conducted the search following a tip-off, and this is the first time illegal gold of such a scale has been confiscated in the country. According to the airport customs office, the brake shoe had been shipped for a company called Redilink based in Budalkanta of the capital. The brake shoe was concealed with concealed gold had arrived the capital on 15th of July via a Cathay Pacific flight. The gold has been taken to the Revenue Investigation Department office at Harihar Bhawan. 5 people have been arrested for alleged involvement in the case and further investigation is underway. The incident has raised serious questions on security and processes of the Trivandrum International Airport customs. Police have arrested 4 individuals in possession of foreign currencies worth 11.5 million rupees on the way to Dubai from Trivandrum International Airport. The arrestees include Santosh Panthi, Dipesh Rana, Suryamani Bhandari and Anish Thapa, who were bound to fly for Dubai via Himalaya Airlines flight last night. All 4 have been taken to Gaushala Police Bit for further investigation. Police have suspected the money is linked with a network of gold smugglers. Nepal's constitution has provision for 7 commissions, including the National Women's Commission, Dalit Commission, Inclusions Commission, among others. The constitution also requires the federal parliament to review the commission's performance every 10 years. However, in nearly 8 years since the promulgation of the constitution, the commissions have failed to make expected difference. These commissions were established to conduct necessary studies and make relevant recommendations to the government to address the issue of and empower different communities. However, it took 5 years since the promulgation of the Constitution for the commissions to attain a full shape. Likewise, 4 years of their 6-year tenure have gone by since the appointment of commissions, chairpersons and officials. However, as the 10-year periodic review inches closer, questions have been rife regarding the necessity of these commissions that have failed to make a difference as the government spends around 30 to 50 million rupees annually in these commissions. Central Committee members of Nepali Congress are to continue to put forth their opinions on the 3rd day of the party's Central Committee meeting today. The meeting that kicked off on Tuesday has tabled 10 different agendas and is holding discussions on the same. Yesterday, provincial presidents had poured frustrations on the party's leadership for rendering provincial committees ineffective. Majority of the Central Committee members had highlighted on what they said was intra-party factions, lack of coordination between government and the party, and the failure to operate as per the party's statute. A few leaders had also spoken in defense of former Home Minister Balkrishna Khand, who is in police custody for alleged involvement in the fake Bhutanese refugee scam. They also criticized the party leadership for failing to take a party stance in naming of the Koshi province. Leaders also emphasized on the need to hold discussions within the party before going to the parliament sessions, saying that the party's presence had been weak in recent time. They also criticized the party leadership of failure to assign relevant responsibilities to the General Secretary duo and said that the party's indifference towards its sister organizations had resulted in its below-par performance at the elections. The Central Committee members also highlighted on increasing nepotism within the party. The bill presented by the government to amend a number of existing acts has faced criticism from various quarters. Experts have said that if the bill is endorsed intact, it will lead to the criminalization of national politics. Section 116 of the Criminal Procedure Code has the provision for withdrawing cases against political prisoners and cadres from all the 3 tiers of the court, which includes the Supreme Court, High Court and District Court. Strong voices against the bill have started to rise, citing that the bill is bound to criminalize national political scene. Experts say that if the bill is endorsed intact, it will also signal the misuse of parliamentary rights. It may be recalled that the then Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deo had floated the bill at the Parliament with similar provision. However, the bill was withdrawn following massive criticism. The bill at the time was aimed at releasing Resham Chaudhary, who was alleged of involvement in the Tikapur incident, and cadres of Netra Bikram Chand. The National Assembly, or the upper house of the Parliament, maintains a check on the laws floated by the House of Representatives and corrects the lower house decisions if and when needed. Members of the upper house are therefore required to keep knowledge on national issues at all times. However, unfortunately, their backgrounds and performances have raised serious questions on the credibility of the Parliament. On Thursday last week, Minister for Industry, Commerce and Supply, Ramesh Rijal, floated the Power Trade Bill 2080 at the National Assembly. CPN-UML's lawmakers Bhagwati Neupane, Tulasi Kumari Dahal, Bimala Ghimire and Nepali Congress lawmaker Jitendra Narayan Dev participated in the bill's discussions. However, their comments were far from the ideology of the proposed bill, highlighting on the lack of study. Speaker Ganesh Timal Sinha also failed to bring the session's course on track, and Minister Rijal was also easily distracted from the bill as he responded to the questions raised by the lawmakers. Political analysts have opined the trend of appointing individuals with doubtful abilities to the Parliament in order to meet political equations translated into the below-par performance, tarnishing the image of the legislative. Many candidates at the upper house are also those who had lost the House of Representatives elections. In this context, in our Public Voice segment, we've asked in several provinces why have ministers and lawmakers been airing controversial statements. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
सांसद र मन्त्रीहरूले बोल्दाखेरि होसमा पुर्याएर बोल्ने गर्छन्।
लर्डमा हजुरको चाहिँ आफू प्रचारबाजी गर्ने गरेको कारणले नेताहरूको अभिव्यक्ति चाहिँ विवादित हुन गयो।
गएर के बोल्ने भन्ने कुरा पूर्व तयारी गरेर जानु पर्यो।
विषयवस्तु राम्रोसँग गइरहेमा नपुगिकन बोल्ने गर्दा उनीहरूको बीचमा विवाद आए जस्तो लाग्छ।
अध्ययन गरेर बोल्नु पर्यो, नसकिने कुरालाई बोल्नु भएन।
नेतृत्व गर्ने मान्छेले चाहिँ कहाँ के बोल्दाखेरि कहाँ असर पर्छ भन्ने कुराहरू चाहिँ धेरै बुझेर मात्रै बोल्नु पर्यो।
सोचेर बोल्नु पर्ने उहाँहरू भनेको धेरै ठुलो मान्छेहरू हो।
दबावको हिसाबले मन परे हिसाबले बोल्ने भावनाले नेताहरूको यो प्रवृत्ति भएको
विषयको गहनता नबुझेर आफ्नो मनले मनगठन जब कुरा गर्छन् त्यति बेला पक्कै पनि त्यसले एउटा राम्रो सन्देश जान्दिन र विवादमा हुन्छ।
विचार अभिव्यक्ति र व्यक्तिवादी कानुनहरूको कार्यान्वयन गर्ने कोसिस गर्दै जाँदा यस्ता विवादहरू आउँछन्।
कुरो एउटा गर्छन् अनि काम चाहिँ अर्को गर्छन्, त्यही भएर यिनीहरूले विवादमा आउने कारण नै त्यही हो।
नसोचिकन झ्यापो बोल्दिने गर्दा पनि विवादमा आउने
विषय अनुसारको गम्भीरतालाई चाहिँ बुझ्न नसक्दा।
Dengue infections have been on the rise in Sunsari's Dharan and adjacent areas. 79.35% of those who reached Dharan's BP Koirala Health Science Academy tested positive for dengue. Likewise, cases of viral fever have also gone up along with dengue. Between July 14th to 16th, 121 were tested for dengue, of which 96 tested positive. The Council for the Technical Education and Vocational Training CTVT on the 13th of July last week had issued a notice to begin process of admissions for all programs of diploma and undergraduate level for the new academic session. However, Medical Education Commission issued a circular to halt the process, saying that the renewal of the institutions that operate medical education courses and allocation of seats had yet to be done. There are 200 educational institutions that conduct undergraduate level medical courses under the CTVT. On the 13th of July, the CTVT had issued a notice to begin admissions for nursing, general medicine, pharmacy, lab technician, radiography, dental and Ayurveda among 11 different programs. However, 90% of the institutions have yet to submit details of seat allocation and have not coordinated to conduct examinations. Meanwhile, CTVT had directed institutions that have abided by the regulation to begin the admission process. CTVT has said that the admission process has been moved forward based on the inspection by experts for renewal of educational institutions, seat allocation and the provision of admission. There are a total of 13,900 seats in the constituent, partner and private institutions under CTVT. Meanwhile, teachers and students have been worried that the dispute between the two regulating bodies could affect the admission process. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, what's your take on the dispute seen between Medical Education Commission and CTVT regarding student admission? Your options are A, jurisdiction problem, B, trying to implement rules, and C, lack of coordination. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Let's move on to the international update. A shooting has left 2 people dead in the centre of Auckland, New Zealand, hours before the city is due to open the FIFA Women's World Cup. 6 other people, including police officers, were injured, and the gunman is also dead after the incident at 7:22 local time on a construction site in the central business district. Prime Minister Chris Hipkins said the attack was not being seen as a terrorism act, adding that the tournament would go as planned. The public, he added, could be assured police had neutralized the threat and there was no ongoing risk after the incident on Queen Street. According to Auckland Mayor Wayne Brown, all FIFA personnel and football teams are safe and have been accounted for. Sports Minister Grant Robertson said there would be extra police in the area to provide reassurance. Hundreds of protesters stormed the Swedish embassy in Baghdad in the early hours today and set it on fire in a protest against the expected burning of a Quran in Sweden. The demonstration was called to protest the second planned Quran burning in Sweden in weeks by supporters of Shiite cleric Muqtada Sadr, according to posts in a popular Telegram group linked the influential cleric and other pro-Sadr media. Swedish news agency TT reported yesterday that Swedish police granted an application for a public meeting outside the Iraqi embassy in Stockholm for today. The application says the applicant seeks to burn the Quran and the Iraqi flag. 2 people were said to participate in the demonstration, one being the same person who set a Quran on fire outside a Stockholm mosque in June. Late last month, Sadr called for protests against Sweden and the expulsion of the Swedish ambassador after the Quran burning in Stockholm by an Iraqi man. Swedish police charged the man with agitation against an ethnic or national group. The governments of several Muslim countries, including Iraq, Turkey, the United Arab Emirates, Jordan and Morocco, issued protests about the incident, with Iraq seeking the man's extradition to face trial in the country. The U.S. has also condemned it, but added that Sweden's issuing of the permit supported freedom of expression and was not an endorsement of the action. Violence has erupted in Lima, where a group of protesters clashed with the riot police outside the Congress in a new batch of anti-government marches. Groups of protesters in the capital Lima broke through a police line as they marched on the Congress, but were dispersed when anti-riot police launched tear gas canisters at them. Thousands of protesters took to the streets in Peru, demanding Dina Boluarte's removal. Many protesters also want early elections, a new constitution, and the right-wing Congress dissolved. Signs accusing Boluarte and her allies of illegitimately removing and jailing her leftist predecessor, Pedro Castillo, which led to angry and sometimes violent protests last March that claimed 67 lives, were also seen during the march. Some 24,000 police officers were deployed throughout the country, according to officials. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.